shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad be pesto. If you wanna come, let's go.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thank you much. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Rams team as they interplay. They've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there was also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
They'll run on first down. Akers. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Stafford. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. Time for a look at the defensive starters now for the Rams. They were terrific a week ago in that victory over Tampa Bay, Charles.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, do you now decide that I can't throw the ball against this team and try and run it like crazy? Or do you challenge them? This is going to be fun.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, here's Stafford. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Oh, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
He'll return it from the 6. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Rams will be backed up deep to begin the drive as they take over 1st and 10. They run it for the first time with Tony Pollard. And some space here. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down L.A.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Ready? 50, plant. Shoot. Good track.
On 1st and 10, Eason. Open man is Higgins. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So a decent game, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
Get it.
From the gun, Eason. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
On the ready.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
Watch the twist.
Looking to throw. Eason. And his throw is incomplete. Knocking it away there defensively, Justin Coleman.
We talk all the time about playmakers on offense, but let's face it, there are plenty of playmakers on defense too. I think we just saw an example of one, didn't we? Not force that incompletion.
Yeah, he's a great corner. They got a couple of them on that side of the football.
Ready.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Snap.
Operating from the gun, Eason, and unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And Detroit getting set to go now.
And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of the game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. He'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a first down.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Stafford. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll be 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. And that is incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Excellent placement, and off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. So, what did they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how did they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
Oh, that's you, partner. Boy, nowhere to go at all on that first down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down.
They've got to do a better job up front and create some space because they're right there, almost literally on their own goal line.
Just a couple of feet away from a safety. That could have been disastrous. To throw from his end zone. Eason, he'll rifle this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Got to be careful here, backed up this deep on third down. And he comes back with one complete. And they work this out past the 25. 25 yards that time. Took him 5 tries, but he is able to complete that first pass of the game.
And could you hear the exhale all the way up here? Not just from him, coaching staff, offensive line, receivers. Now he's off the schneid. Can they get him going in a nice groove where he becomes a little more consistent throwing the football?
Because you miss those first 2, but you get up the 0 for 4 range. That can be a little tricky, but able to settle in, hopefully.
Yeah, now you won't have any confidence issues. Now you got to get it back even with just one throw.
That's a gain of 13, first down Rams. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. From the gun, Eason. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Robert Quinn has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways, and right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week, and we just saw their first one of this game.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain. Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from it. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. So here come the Lions now. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Corey Littleton there on the tackle. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now a handoff here to his running back. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with 3rd down and just a yard to go.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Stafford looking to throw on 3rd and 1. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. He needed a yard. That's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs. On 1st and 10, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Brandon Graham applied the heat off the edge. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, He got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. The Lions with the football here to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10. The Lions with the football here to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Stafford throws complete to Galladay. He had a great move, but he'll still be stopped shy of midfield. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Now a play fake and it's Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Samson Ebukam, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. Stafford now to throw. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. Stafford now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The sack by Dorian O'Daniel, the linebacker from Clemson.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Open man is Galladay, complete. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And his kick is indeed good. And the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
You sound like you're going negative on me.
I was.
Sounds like you're thinking the 3's just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So,
well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. This one a little slow to get cooking. Just a 3-0 scoreline as they begin with a 1st and 10.
Here we go. 60 Pittsburgh.
On 1st down, Eason. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. His throw incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
To throw on third down, Eason. This one complete into the hands of Higgins. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down L.A. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Duke Dawson picks it, and they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole, because you have to find a way to make those interceptions quote-unquote go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
They'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Stafford. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completion.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it, cover it, tuck it away. Whatever you get after that is almost gravy. That's how a lot of these receivers are being taught now.
They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Stafford. He'll get this one to Galladay. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Second quarter, 2 minutes remain, 3-0 our score. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join, who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down. From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Here's Stafford. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A great play there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point, because you got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. And he is out of bounds as they'll start up past the 30. And an update from a game going on up in Santa Clara. And the 49ers are out to the early lead. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. This pass complete to Higgins. 20. Touchdown, LA. A big play there. His 9th touchdown of the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Extra point right down the middle, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. Touchdown, Lions.
That was a special return, and it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach's head coach to bring it out of the end zone.
But let's be honest, a lot of times when they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules, and if you do, you're taking on some responsibility, but he was happy to do so there.
This is fielded at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get him back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off at the 40. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
You're trailing. You're trying to get points late in the half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. Throwing to start the drive, but that went incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one.
Stafford on first down. Oh, incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it there. And it'll be second down. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
Second and 10, Stafford again. Galladay's got it, and the Lions have a touchdown. Kenny Galladay, his fifth touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are able to extend their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. A drive there of just 4 plays. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. And we move to spotlighting Brandon Cooks. Looking down at the stats here, realizing he has no catches. They targeted him twice, but no catches. So how do they get him more involved, Charles?
You make sure he touches it on routes that he likes to run. Maybe even run a reverse or some type of a jet sweep so he gets his hands on the ball and get him active and involved in the game. You just try and find ways to get him going, and it doesn't have to be something that's big downfield.
Maybe kind of like in basketball, just a shooter seeing the ball go through, you get him a rep, get him more comfortable.
I agree with that totally. Maybe set that solid screen and give him an easy look.
Well, to this point, no catches. Second and 2. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Down. 10 logo. Check in. Watch QB drop. Hit it.
To throw on second down, Eason. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Hey, wahoo! Big grip.
Off the play fake. Eason is going to fire one deep over the middle. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The safety that time, Tony Jefferson, there on the coverage. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down.
Hey, Delta. Let's go.
A final shot before break. Eason is going to fire one deep, middle of the field.